choose whichever expression you feel is easiest to factor first. Okay, so the top is a trinomial with a leading coefficient, something other than 1. Okay, and neither the leading coefficient nor the constant are prime numbers. So that one's probably not the easiest to factor. The denominator is a binomial. Okay, so all you have to do with the denominator is look to remove any common factors or see if it fits one of the special factor forms. So when I look to see are there any common factors I can remove, I notice that there is a common factor of r. So I take that out and I'm left with 9r minus 4. Okay, the fact that I'm left with a binomial suggests to me that it is very likely that my numerator is going to have a factor of 9r minus 4. Once again, that's not a guarantee, but let's see if that could happen if I use trial and error here. So if I took my FOIL property here, my first terms have to equal 9r squared, so I have a 9r here. This would have to be an r. My last terms have to equal negative 8. I have a negative 4 here, so this would be a plus 2. Let me take my outer and inners and see if they give me a 14r. So here I get plus 18r minus 4r does give me 14r. So this confirms that I was able to use that as my pattern and find it more quickly than if I had to rewrite the middle term or test different combinations. Okay, so once I get to this, I can cancel my common factors. Nothing else cancels here. Okay, let me talk about really quickly this form. Okay, remember, you have a binomial factor on top and you have a monomial factor in the denominator. This r and this r cannot cancel. Okay, it's a monomial and a binomial. You can't cancel it with a term from a different type of polynomial. So you leave it in exactly that form, r plus 2 in grouping symbols in the numerator over r. And now I did cancel a factor that contained a variable, so I have to test the domain restriction that's apparent in that. And the way that I'm going to test it, because my leading coefficient is something other than 1, is I'm going to take the opposite of my constant, divide by my leading coefficient. So the opposite of negative 4 is 4 divided by 9. There is my restriction. Is that apparent in my simplified form? No. All I know is r can't be 0. From the simplified form, the 4/9 is an additional domain restriction.